This is a new day. This is a new day full of sound and light and expectation. This day has been waiting for you. This day has been waiting, especially for you, to embrace you, to guide you. This day has been waiting just for you. This is the day we have been given. Let's not waste it. Come now and let us worship together. Welcome, everybody. My name is Reverend Joseph Boyd, and it is my great pleasure to welcome all of you into this virtual space, here zooming in to 1105 Elm Street in one of the best cities in the world, Youngstown, Ohio. I welcome all our close friends, members, and curious onlookers here in the Youngstown area, Mahoning County, Trumbull County. I welcome all our friends out in Pennsylvania, out in Hermitage, out in rural areas like Columbiana. And I welcome all of you who are joining us from outside of Ohio and Pennsylvania, from coast to coast, from California down south to South Carolina, Colorado, New York City. And I welcome all our international friends that may be viewing us through Facebook or later on YouTube, all our sisters and brothers and friends in the Middle East, in Europe, Australia, Asia, India. Welcome all of you into this sacred space. I first want to say thank you to all those who helped plan the Youngstown Story Lounge this past Friday. It was an amazing event, an amazing night of great storytellers, and I love hearing stories. And there were some great ones from every single person who shared. Thank you especially John Chartle and Lindsay Sinkovich, who helped organize it. And thank you to all the storytellers and all those who attended to watch. It's just amazing. I love hearing stories. I love telling stories. And we're going to continue this. So look out in June. We're going to continue another Youngstown Story Lounge on the theme of revolution or evolution. Or actually the other way around. I think it's evolution or revolution. So join us for that. And as you know, this is Memorial Day weekend. And it's a weekend when we honor those who have died in military service. So I'd like to say, especially to anyone here whose family members, close friends, or loved ones are one of those people who died in armed military service, we welcome you into this community. You are welcomed, and we look forward to getting to know you. And you might be a longtime member, and we honor you on this day for your relative, your friend, your loved one, and we honor their life. And as some of you also know, this week, it's getting a lot more press this year than usual, and it's very good that this is happening. This week marks the 100th year since the Tulsa Massacre in 1921. Tim Raridan just shared with me that today at 8 o'clock p.m. on the History Channel, 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, there's going to be a series about the Tulsa Massacre. But if you happen to also live within the Youngstown area, I welcome you to join me at the courthouse downtown Youngstown at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we're going to hear stories and reflections from the community on both the Tulsa Race Massacre of 1921 and also marking 1 year since George Floyd, and where we are now as a community, marking that and where we're headed. So again, that's going to be today on the courthouse steps in downtown Youngstown, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I hope that you join me there for that. It's going to be a very special and important event. And last, many of you have probably received the reopening guidelines. It was sent in a separate email on Wednesday. If for whatever reason you haven't received the email, or if you're not on our email list, you're welcome to put your email down in the chat box, and we will send you a copy of that. Just put your email address, and then you can put reopening, and we'll send you those guidelines. We're also going to be posting it on our website, UUYO.org. In short, we're going to be reopening for small groups of 10 or under indoors, and that's going to begin June 1st. And in my sermon, I'm going to unpack that a little bit and hopefully give you a bit more clarity, and then invite you to offer any feedback that you might have or any questions. And we're going to do that during the breakout session and then come back as a whole, asking the question, what do you think about the reopening guidelines that we're going to have at this church beginning June 1st? And do you have any questions about it? And so that's going to be our breakout question. And if you haven't read it yet, don't worry. I'm going to talk about it a bit in the sermon today, so hopefully you'll get a good sense of what we're intending to do come June 1st. And one last announcement is that there's going to be no religious education today due to Memorial Day weekend. And so if you have children, hold on tight. It's going to be starting again next Sunday, virtually, but not this Sunday. And so I now would like to invite Patty Rudowski to offer our chalice lighting this morning.
Good morning. We are a people of stories and memory. As inheritors of our ancestors' legacy, we hold their stories tenderly, gleaning wisdom from diverse journeys, united in hope for the future. Guide us to trust and love as we kindle this flame together.
Pictures up here. Or else go back. That's okay, leave it be. No. Okay, thanks. Okay. Let us join together in saying our covenant. Love is the spirit of this church, and service its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. Each month, we give to an organization that supports transformation in our community, which is the heart of our mission. In our church's historic commitment to the well-being of our community, we give 100% of our non-designated money to those in need. UUYO's Give Away the Plate recipient for May is Planned Parenthood Greater Ohio, Mahoning Valley Health Centers in Youngstown and Warren locations. In October 2016, Planned Parenthood turned 100 years strong. Planned Parenthood was founded on the revolutionary idea that women should have the information and care they need to live strong, healthy lives and fulfill their dreams, no ceilings, no limits. Today, Planned Parenthood is a trusted healthcare provider, an informed educator, a passionate advocate, and a global partner helping similar organizations around the world. Planned Parenthood delivers vital reproductive health care, sex education, and information to millions of women, men, and young people worldwide. Planned Parenthood reaches millions of lives each year. Planned Parenthood provides educational programs and outreach to 1.1 million people every year and millions more online through digital sex education programs. Moreover, Planned Parenthood has 16 million activists, supporters, and donors worldwide. The Planned Parenthood Action Network enables online activists in all 50 states, including many here in the Mahoning Valley, to stay on top of the issues and get involved with campaigns that advance and protect women's rights and health. The Mahoning Valley is fortunate to have two Planned Parenthood health centers, one in Youngstown and one in Warren, offering high quality healthcare services. Planned Parenthood is well known for providing women's health services, but our Mahoning Valley Health Centers also provide expert care for men and the LGBTQ plus community. In spite of consistently offering high quality, compassionate expert care, Planned Parenthood has experienced funding cuts in recent years, so community support is more important now than ever. UUYO has been a longtime supporter of our local Planned Parenthood health centers and educational programs, and many of our members have also been active in advocacy for Planned Parenthood and women's reproductive health. During a time where so many need a trusted place to go for healthcare services, it is important to make sure our Planned Parenthood health centers stay here and stay open, and know that the community is here to support them no matter what. We will now receive the offering that supports the life of Youngstown, the Mahoning Valley, and our wider world.
That's all we're going to do. Just be still and breathe. Whatever posture you're in, if you're standing, you're sitting, you're lying down, even if you're doing a task right now and you're on the move, even if you're driving, just notice breath in your body as you're doing what you're doing.
reading for today is Beginners by Denise Levertov. But we have only begun to love the earth. We have only begun to imagine the fullness of life. How could we tire of hope? So much is in bud. How can desire fail? We have only begun to imagine justice and mercy, only begun to envision how it might be to live as siblings with beast and flower, not as oppressors. Surely our river cannot already be hastening into a sea of non-being. Surely it cannot drag in the silt all that is innocent. Not yet, not yet. There is too much broken that must be mended, too much hurt we have done to each other that cannot yet be forgiven. We have only begun to know the power that is in us if we would join our solitudes in the communion of struggle. So much is unfolding that must complete its gesture. So much is in bud.
It seems we are at the beginning of something very important. We are transitioning. We are transitioning into a new stratosphere of being. One place where humankind has never gone before. That is, until now. As the United States begins to ease its restrictions on masks and physical distancing for those who are vaccinated, I don't believe we are going back to what we have known before 15 months ago. Many of you have confirmed and experienced this directly for yourself. It is taking some getting used to. And there seems to be a kind of physical and psychological memory that has been honed and formed over the last 15 months. An acute awareness of our physical space in relationship to other people. And this acute awareness doesn't seem to be leaving us, at least anytime soon. We are recalibrating every second and integrating new behaviors that are influenced by our cumulative experiences over the last 15 months. To state the obvious, this has not been a one-size-fits-all experience. Some, I know, still feel more comfortable wearing a mask, even though they are vaccinated, and that's okay. Some are comfortable experiencing a relaxing of restrictions with close family and close friends, but less excited to ease those restrictions with complete strangers or people they don't know very well. Some I know are transitioning quite quickly and are meeting whoever they can who is vaccinated. And of course, there is a sizable portion of the population that never really adjusted to health protocols, except when they were demanded by businesses and workplaces. And our experience of loss during this time is also diverse and various. Many have lost loved ones, some employment, some months of experiencing acute fear and trepidation about themselves and their loved ones. But even for those who have not had these acute experiences during this time, all of us have had to shift how we relate to ourselves and each other and have formed new habits in that process. There have been some unexpected opportunities that have come from some of these habits. We have been able to be on more equal footing with those that are homebound or those who just prefer to stay at home due to ease. We've had time, for some people too much time, to reflect and contemplate on ourselves and the state of the world. We have been able to witness very directly our impact on the environment through the ceasing of certain business practices. Some, I know, have been able to spend more time with their children, their family, loved ones at home. And I know more than a few, actually, who are now seeking to adjust their lifestyle so that this can continue indefinitely. We have found ways to more fully utilize the technology that we have to connect to each other and to connect across the globe. We have discovered how much work can be done without physically going to a cubicle or an office. On a micro level, here at UUYO, we have discovered a whole new way of living out our mission. I'm amazed that due to the perseverance of our board and church leadership, we have not just hung in there during this time, but have actually extended the reach and discovered new depths of our mission. Our mission, simply put, is to serve and transform. To serve and transform. That is what we have done over the last 15 months. We have served each other and been transformed. And during this new transition, when we are slowly and gradually coming back together in person, this will be our continuity, to serve and transform through every means that is safe and healthy. I'm very proud of you. I'm very proud of this community. And you all have helped renew my sense of hope at what church can be for each other and for our society as a whole. I have certainly been in the position of developing new skills. I've developed more comfort with utilizing technology to communicate a message of love and justice. I'm much more at ease now with filming, Zooming, recording, and delivering a message out into the ether for the entire world to discover, now or sometime in the future. I've developed more ease in transition from using my home as a primary place of ministry to meet all of you. I'm actually curious as we transition, and I welcome you to think about this. I'm curious to see, as we transition to in-person meetings, how much of what we've learned during this time may still be preferable or utilized in some new way. I now know in a way that I never knew before that there will no longer be a Sunday when church is canceled due to weather, because I simply can lead a service from home. I always could do that even before a pandemic, but now I actually know that. Even if I and no one can drive, worship will continue as long as there's internet access. That's another thing that we learned. How to not take certain things for granted, like internet access, access to a computer, access to basic needs like shelter, food, and financial support. That being said, I'm looking forward to this transition to in-person gatherings beyond our close family and friends. On June 2nd, here in the state of Ohio, all mask regulations will be lifted in line with the latest recommendation from the Center of Disease Control that vaccinated persons who are not immunocompromised are no longer required to mask and physical distance. First, I would like to state the obvious, an important fact that should shape our sensibility as we make this transition. This loosening of the guidelines does not yet apply to those who are immunocompromised, those who are unvaccinated, and as of now, children under 12 who have yet to have access to the vaccine. That is actually a sizable portion of the population that is still at greater risk and vulnerable, and will arguably become more vulnerable once restrictions loosen. I think it's part of the mission of this church that we always seek to see any given situation from the perspective of the most vulnerable. That is why we, as a church, are committed to maintaining our virtual option through phone, laptop, desktop, to keep these groups connected to everything that we do in this church. So I thought I would go through some of the reopening guidelines that we sent out on Wednesday and reposted in the weekly update on Friday, and offer some explanations to give us all, hopefully, a bit more clarity going forward. First, I would like to state the obvious about this reopening that will go into effect on June 1st. I expect that there is plenty we will learn from it. We decided to take a gradual approach. And when I say we, I meant our COVID-19 Advisory Committee, our Board of Trustees, and myself. We've decided to take a gradual approach to reopening for two reasons. One of those reasons is so that each of us can have the opportunity to get slowly accustomed to being in small groups again. Groups of 10 people or under indoors. That number can increase if the meeting is outdoors due to the lower risk of transmission and if there is adequate space outdoors. I think that coming together will be a personal journey for each of us. And understandably, each of us will need to go at our own pace and our own comfort level. We are asking those who are immunocompromised, those who are unvaccinated, and children under 12, for the time being, to continue to utilize our virtual option as a form of attendance. If you do attend an event, and if you are immunocompromised, unvaccinated, or under 12 years of age, we are asking that you mask and physical distance for our collective well-being. We have decided, after much discussion, to use an honor system rather than have any group leader be responsible for checking vaccination cards and being put in the position of having to deny or allow people access. We trust you. And that's what we're doing, trusting you as a community. And we trust you to do what is best to keep yourself and our community safe. The second reason that we took a gradual approach to reopening is to give us time to transition into a hybrid ministry. A hybrid ministry which will simultaneously be both virtual and in person for everything: worship, religious education, and all our programming. This, as far as I know, has never been done before in human history. We have certainly had in-person meetings with one person on a conference call, but we have never yet included multiple people who are able to see and hear everything that is happening in person, in the moment, and fully participate virtually. I think this will take practice, and it won't come automatically for most of us. I also want to state the obvious, that it is not a requirement that every group affiliated with the church meet in person. It's not required. It is okay to remain 100% virtual if that is what best serves the needs of the group. As we reopen to small groups affiliated with the church of 10 or under, who may meet in person and offer a virtual option for those who can't or prefer not to attend in person, we will continue to have worship streaming, just like this, from June through August. Our goal is to use that time to transition into a new way of utilizing our technology so that come September, we are ready to offer a good and satisfying in-person worship experience, as well as a good and satisfying virtual experience. And putting the time over the next few months to plan that out with the help of our wonderful tech crew, who I'm so grateful for. At this time, I would also like to state the obvious. We expect that things may change over the next 3 to 6 months. We don't know what will happen. My hope is that the changes we will see will be increased access and utilization of the vaccine, and that we are able to confidently feel we can defend ourselves from other strains that have developed. So far, the CDC is confident that we are protected from these strains by getting the vaccination. And I hope that more and more people, including children, are able to take full advantage of this in the next 3 to 6 months. It is also possible that we may need to quarantine again or back off from our original intent to meet in person. I hope that is not the case, but it's possible. So we are prepared to be nimble over the next 3 to 6 months as we stay attentive. And I truly mean we. All of us need to stay attentive. To do this will take a collective effort, a collective patience, and much more tenderness and kindness than perhaps you've ever needed to demonstrate consistently in public. I'm asking you, first and foremost, to be gentle with yourselves as we transition. I'm asking you, don't push yourself unnecessarily. Respect your limits and transition according to your own comfort zone, not someone else's comfort zone. I'm also asking that you respect the limits and process of others. It's likely you may not know what those limits are until you've already crossed a boundary, gotten too close, or initiated touch without asking, even a handshake. Take it slow. Take it real slow with each other. And don't make assumptions about what people are comfortable with as much as possible. It's actually okay and recommended to ask each other in the group basic questions without assuming that you know the answer. It's not only okay, but recommended that you ask things like, is this an appropriate distance right now? Is it okay if I shake your hand? Is it okay if I give you a hug? Are you doing okay? Especially at first, if you haven't seen a person in months, and especially if you've never met this person in person, it's okay to ask each other these very basic questions without assuming that you know the answer. Another thing that I ask that you keep in mind during this transition, we have all gone through something incredibly traumatic and potentially life-changing. And as we transition to in-person meetings, it is normal to feel things that seem irrational. Fear, anxiety, anger, sadness. You might experience feelings that surprise you and that you don't fully understand. And that's normal. You may also witness that experience in others, an added edge or an extra sensitivity to stimulus. For some, coming together in person might more fully open up the experience of loss, an experience that couldn't be fully felt in quarantine. Again, this is normal under the circumstances, which are extraordinary. So be mindful of this, both for yourself and other people in your group. As a general rule, go slow, be gentle with yourself and one another, and don't be afraid to ask basic questions about what another person is comfortable with at that moment. It may be a good idea when each group meets in person to have a simple covenant about how we're going to engage one another for the time being, paying special attention to leading with gentleness and not making assumptions about other people's boundaries or comfort level. We want this to be a joyful and life-giving experience, both virtual and in person. And in order to do this, we will have to learn a new way of being. We are beginning again, friends. We are not going back to something that we've known. We are beginning something completely new during this transition. Respect that this is new. We are not going back to what we were. Respect that this is brand new. And don't make assumptions about how we're going to relate to each other. We are leading the way into a new kind of beloved community. And this will take both grace and patience. None of us knows completely how this is going to go exactly. And we are intending to lead with care and kindness, no matter what happens and how we might have to adapt. The first step is being kind to yourself. Be kind to yourself. And do what you can to keep yourself and your community safe. The second is understanding that safety is not just physical, and it doesn't end as soon as we get the vaccine. Safety is emotional, psychological, spiritual. That takes time to discover, to understand where you're at and what you're comfortable with. The third step is respecting where other people are at, even if they are at a very different place than you are. In closing, I'm looking forward to this gradual transition into hybrid ministry with both in-person and virtual participation. As we make this transition, please be gentle with yourself and others, and go slow. And know that I and the care team and all your friends here are here to support you. And you can reach out to us anytime if you need assistance or someone to listen. We are finding a whole new way of being together as a community. Let us keep gentleness and kindness at the forefront of our mind as we make this sacred journey together into a new kind of beloved community. Please pray with me. Spirit of love, we are grateful to be alive on this day. We offer a special prayer for those whose family members and loved ones have died in combat and military service. And we pray that you might show us how to open ourselves again, to open our hearts and minds to who we are, and to respect where we are. Please help us to be kind and gentle with ourselves, and to extend that same kindness and gentleness to others as we make this transition as a community. Please help us to know that we are never alone in making this transition, and that we have many others who are there to support us anytime that we need. All this we pray. Amen.
We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we keep in our hearts until we meet again.
As you depart, please remember the one great fact: you are loved and never truly alone. And we'll now go into a room very briefly with others for 7 minutes to talk